Okay, so in this box we have all the art that I've done so far that is traditional, from like elementary school to my junior year of high school. Let's get into it. Okay, so this was definitely in middle school. I was in my 21 Pilots phase. Why do I just not date anything? Okay, I think this was 8th grade year of middle school, freshman year of high school. This was sophomore year. I think this was also sophomore year. The earliest first. Okay, so this was 2017, and this is my first self-portrait. Resemblance is uncanny, kind of in my edgy phase. So this is one of my OCs, Trayton, that I had in middle school. I don't know. I went through like a phase where I really liked the style of like Steven Universe stuff, but I haven't really watched like the series. Yikes. Don't cancel me. I drew my OC a lot. I had nothing else to do. This one as well. I still really like this drawing. This was in 2017. I still really like this. I was very experimental then with my style in terms of shading, and I was really into like cool tone shading. So these aren't that bad, other than I had no concept of like anatomy. I had like the briefest understanding of where body parts went. Beyond that, expect absolute garbage. This is 21 Pilots. I mean, it's not bad. His nose, Tyler's nose, is a bit too far down in regards to his eyes and his forehead. I miss drawing. I got into painting for a while, but it's whatever. This is a painting I did when I was in my it phase. I made the mistake of doing the yellow Georgie first, and then I did the black background after that, so I was scared of messing up, so I tried to do some type of inverted... What is that word? Vignette. I tried to do an inverted vignette, but it didn't work. Middle school. Okay, I think this is 8th grade, freshman year of high school. I had a bad habit of only drawing my OCs. I already said that, but okay. So this was when I was in my Greywick phase. That is a YouTuber. I don't know if they still film or not, but I was obsessed with their style and the layout of their sketchbooks, where they had like a corresponding picture next to their sketch that went along with a theme. And so I did that a lot. This isn't too bad, but you know, anatomy wise, there's just a lot that could, you know, use improvement. A lot of these were either very small, because I was so scared of taking up space in my sketchbook, and I learned to do that when I finally caved and took an art class. Thank goodness for that. It's just a bunch of 21 Pilots fan art. Kind of like this. I went through a small little alien phase. The anatomy's not too bad on it, but the arms are a little stiff looking. Very, very stiff looking. I'm just not very good at developing my own style that's kind of like cute or whatever. I did Coraline style type thing. It's a fox or a wolf that I drew. It's not bad in terms of like, because obviously I used reference for this, but the shading could use a lot of improvement. I only used one graphite pencil with this, only like one Ardennis. I think it was just a regular Ticonderoga, but I did try my best with some gradients, having darks and lights, but I made no attempt to try and shade the fur. I just did some type of just a simple outline. This one has, I believe, 1 or 2 that I uploaded a speed paint of, but I know at least one is up here. I might have deleted the other one because I went through a phase where I was like, never doing this again. Like, I went through a phase where I was very into like messy sketch as art, so a lot of rough lines, a lot of dark lines, And you know, this isn't bad. Of course, I used a reference. I use a reference for most of my artwork. The side profile lays very flat. So instead of there being where her chin would kind of meet in the same line that her nose would, it doesn't. It just kind of goes down like this. So there's no real correct shape for her face. Personally, I'm more so on the realism side of like my art style. I'm very centered on realism. Here's another Steven Universe character. It's not bad. You can really see me delving more into having realism, and even though this is a very, very stylized character, I did it more so my style, where it's very humanized, human features. The nose is a bit too small, and chin is uneven, but it's okay. The shoulders are a bit broad, but you know what? I kind of expect that of that character. This is a drawing of Josh Dunn I did. I think this was an Instagram picture he might have uploaded. I made no attempt for his tattoo. I just kind of shaded it in as a block. A fabric shading, it was just very quick. I still had that messy, bold, just chaotic lines style for sketches. This is really small, but focus. Pretty please. This is of ink and colored pencil of I think it's just an OC I had. I don't remember the name of it, but it's not bad anatomy wise. Nose is still small. I just draw all my noses super small for some reason. Also, I have all this space, and then I was just scared to take up space. Started trying to figure out watercolors. I still don't know how to use them. Finally learning to take up space. This is a paper airplane, which not bad. You can definitely see where I've improved in terms of understanding shadows and stuff. Just a little study of lemons. I got into a phase where I enjoyed glass reflection and stuff like that, refraction. I still really enjoy this one, this point shoe I did. My hand, and that's like a little dance sketch I did, trying to understand movement and it not being so static. I did some more right here. Okay, so this is a sketch for a final piece I had to do, and here the anatomy's not bad. I had a reference, of course, but of course I had to adjust to going from a small size. This is like the first time I ever used a huge piece of paper, and it's not bad, but her arm is way too short. Her hand is way too small here. The legs were okay. I started on those first, so they took up the most space, and then I just didn't know how to compensate for all this space I took up. I was too scared to actually define her features, and I didn't understand how to draw hair, but other than that, I mean, it's okay. It's a bit with the dark, her unitard that she was wearing. That's okay. I saw that one. But at the end of the year, I had to do a art final, and we had to do a little study of like a bunch of stuff that was in front of us. So this is that. Definitely, you can see the improvement. I really like this book that I drew right here. It's pretty realistic. Besides the pages, I didn't really understand how to do that, but I was doing this final. We only had about an hour and a half to do it, and I had to come after because I did not have enough time. I have a problem with paying very close attention to my details. So this was still during the same year, but it's a snake acrylic I had to do. It's okay. The background is very simplistic. It was following a style of some artist. I don't remember his name, but the snake, I didn't do any scales or anything. The shading is kind of wonky in terms of his environment, like he's draped across this stick, but the shading just doesn't correspond with how the body is positioned. I wanted to do this just to show my improvement over the years, because I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I'll never get anywhere with my art. Wait, I have a sketchbook that I haven't finished yet. This is from my junior year. Actually, finally upgraded sizes. I still had an issue with taking up space. A lot of this was color swatches. Like here's a little weird snail thing I did. We had to come up with a mythical creature. I did a snail that had like a hawk beak or something. Still kind of enjoy this piece. This was an all ink piece I did on some leaves that were my yard. I kind of try to only pay attention to the bigger details. Here's a piece I did by taking up space. I really enjoy it. My black markers started drying out during it though. I did some clouds, a little cloud acrylic study. They're not bad. I mean, obviously, I just don't. I'm still not very confident with acrylic and knowing how to blend and stuff. And the rest of these pages are actually blank, so maybe I'll finish filling it in, because this was from my junior year, and then I didn't have art my senior year, and I was too busy to actually like sit down and do anything. So I still enjoy this one. So graphite. Anatomy's okay. The toes are a bit wonky. I'm not very good at drawing hands or feet still. I really enjoy how I did the chest and stuff. So this is my first time using colored pencils trying a realism piece. I drew this cherry when my boyfriend gave me a Prismacolor set of colored pencils for my birthday, and I plan to take them with me to college because I love them so much, but I didn't really understand the concept of burnishing with colored pencils, but I tried my best. It's not too bad. I just kind of... Yeah, look at all these sketchbooks. If you can't tell, I like Canson Mixed Media. Do not stop drawing if you want to improve your art, because, as you can tell, I learned I really enjoy acrylic mostly, and realism with graphite. Graphite realism is kind of my main go-to if I'm doing a piece, but you won't learn that stuff unless you do it. So do not be afraid to take an art class, because I used to be like, I'm never taking an art class. They can't tell me what to do. Take the art class. Take the art class. Because you will learn so much. Even if you don't like the art teacher, you will learn so much in terms of what you like doing and how to improve your style so much. Like, I don't like drawing architecture or buildings or anything like that, but I learned to do it, and it helped me improve my shading for my realism pieces I do, which is mainly focused around human and human anatomy. So, don't stop art.